Well, at least they brought their own sanitizer.
Yeah, you should probably use some of that.
Anyways,
Okay.
well, welcome back to another episode of Truth to Youth. We have a few extra guests with us today. They are safe, they are clean, and yeah, I actually think they're ready for our challenge.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
what's going on. Guys, this is Caleb in the blue blindfold and Jordan with the pink.
Are you saying the
My
blue
shoulder
sweater
red.
and then Jordan in the blue sweater?
That would have been so
That too.
funny.
Caleb in the blue sweater, Jordan in the black shorts. You'll hear more from them later. First of all,
Yeah.
we're gonna do a little fruit tasting challenge.
Yeah.
And you know, really, we brought in some donuts because who doesn't like to celebrate with donuts? And today we are celebrating because Lauren aced a super important interview that she had this morning. Congrats.
Nice.
Thank you.
So we're gonna have a mini feast together, but I couldn't choose just one flavor, so I have 6,
All right.
and none of you know what these flavors are. I know what they all are, and you are going to.
Can I see? Yes,
She
I
is.
can see.
No, you guys are the only ones blindfolded, right? Actually, Caleb's the only
You're
one
the only
blindfolded
one
right
blindfolded.
now. So Lauren's gonna get a blindfold on. I'm gonna bring out some donuts for everyone.
Oh yeah, you're blindfold.
And we're gonna see if we can guess what flavor these donuts are. Sweet. We'll be right back.
Oh my goodness.
I'll see if you
I
show you
guess-
my plate. We have 6 different donuts. They're all lined up. Everyone has a plate with the flavors in the same order. We're gonna start eating with the one that is closest to us, and then we're just gonna take a crack on what flavor that would be. And I'm just eating for fun. Moral support. Okay, grab your first donut.
Oh, am I falling apart?
Caleb, you lost all of the icing on your donut,
Oh.
which is indeed all of the flavor.
Okay.
Go.
Oh.
Bon appetit.
Bone apple teeth.
Sugar.
That's all I can taste.
Right? It's coming to me.
Yeah, I even know what this one is, and I don't think I'd be able to guess it.
It's got like, it tastes like cookie dough.
Okay. Yeah, kind of.
You know,
So,
like,
Lauren, are you just like agreeing with Caleb, or are you gonna have your own opinion?
yeah.
Well, like all I can really taste is sugar.
It's like sugar and butter.
But there's like a hint of butter in it. But maybe that's just the icing.
Jordan, we need your expertise. Where's all the icing on mine? Is it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Is this it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the.
Jordan, do you have an opinion?
I mean, you got 5 more to go. You should probably hurry up a little bit.
I don't know. It's like there's like dusty stuff on it. I don't know.
So our guesses are cookie dough or butter. This is in fact cookies and cream.
Ah,
Okay.
So the
I can
cookie
kinda
dough
see
wasn't
it, yeah.
too far off. It's a little sweeter.
Yeah.
Next
I get
donut.
it. Yep. That's not bad. Oh, you want on the second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's chocolate.
Yep, I can smell chocolate.
And there's sprinkles on it.
Tastes like a chocolate sprinkle.
I do like that is butter,
Not as butter.
buttercream.
This is real difficult.
Yeah.
It's like chocolate.
Yeah. It's some sort of chocolate.
This one is kind of unfair. As in, it's not a like traditional flavor.
Is it like red velvet or something?
No, but I can see where it's coming from.
I have no idea. Like a
Yeah.
fruity.
I'm going with chocolate.
I actually meant to save this one for the end, but it just didn't happen that way. There's definitely chocolate on here. Really, this is just labeled as OMG's original.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Oh, I guess how did I not know that?
Next donut.
Win.
This one, my prediction is that someone will come up with this flavor. Oh yeah.
don't
like
smell
cream
anything.
cheesy. Is it like a birthday cake or something? Cheesecake?
All right. Any other input, or you guys just gonna let Lauren keep rambling on?
Cotton candy, maybe?
You know, if you could see, there are indeed colored sprinkles on here.
Oh,
Oh.
just kind of
Birthday cheese.
Cheese.
I don't
What
know.
is birthday cheese?
Birthday cake?
Does
Cotton
not
candy?
sound
Something like
good.
that.
Hey, actually, Lauren got it first try. Cream
Oh,
cheese.
Nice.
Just simple cream cheese. You got birthday cheese, which is different.
Cheese.
Oh,
What is birthday cheese?
I don't want to know.
Next,
like birthday cake cheesecake.
Okay,
Are we doing next one?
next one.
My throat is closed off already.
Do you guys have allergies?
All the allergies.
Ugh. No, I don't actually.
This
I
one
just
you can
need to
taste
taste
it.
it with like.
This
This
is
one kind
a,
of tastes like caramel.
Oh, coconut.
Hang on. I'm trying to like.
Or like a toffee.
There's definitely coconut.
Hmm.
so caramel toffee from Lauren, coconut from Jordan. Gail was really into this, taking a lot of time. If you could see his expressions.
so
I'm just
ready.
trying to get past sugar. It's starting to all taste like sugar.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of donut
seriously.
on this plate. Oh man.
But it is. I see where the caramel is coming from, or the coconut, because there's chunks in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of tastes like coconut.
Okay, I'll give you guys a hint. Because you're like pretty close. It's a type of chocolate bar.
Snickers.
Score?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
This is a score donut.
Oh.
Alright.
There's only 2 left. We're almost there. We can do it.
I can't tell which ones I've eaten. Which ones I haven't.
Keep the order, Lauren.
I did.
Did
but-
you not eat the whole piece every time?
Oh gosh, no.
I've been eating until
Really?
the last one. I've,
No, I've taken like a bite out of each one.
That's
and
what I did.
man, it's been.
Are we on the
hard.
next one?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys got it.
Ugh, excuse me.
That's coconut for sure.
Oh yeah, smell that coconut. Sorry, Lauren.
Thanks for pointing it out. That's like a toasted coconut one.
Oh, that one's definitely coconut.
A little late to the
The
game.
last
but-
one was too.
Shut up, okay?
You're right. It is coconut though. Some of these are way easier than others.
Mm-hmm.
Final donut. You're just feeling it.
Who?
Seeing what texture it has. If there's any chunks in there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh. Oh. Wait. Hang on. Where's the top?
This one has like chunks of chocolate in it.
I know that one was just sugar. That's all I got.
No.
I can't tell what that is.
Here's another hint. It's seasonal. Based
Mini-egg?
around a. Whoa.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes! My friend just made mini egg cheesecake and I was so jealous.
Oh, nice. Mini egg donuts. How amazing is that?
I don't know how you got that.
Probably because, like, I have it not on my mind, but
Oh.
like literally right before
Seasonal,
I
I
came,
guess.
my friend
That
told me
makes
she was
sense.
making it, and it's
We
seasonal.
lost. I didn't get any.
Oh my goodness. Lauren,
Yeah, you did.
You got like 3 right.
Okay.
No, no.
Can I take my blindfold off?
Yeah, you can take your blindfold off now.
Oh.
Do you guys have a favorite? They just all blur together.
They all blurred
Yeah.
into a sugar bowl in my throat.
I think I'm kind of biased because I love coconut, so that one was really good.
Yeah. Coconut was.
Cookies and cream. Ugh,
Cookies and cream was better than.
hate that.
I had coconut on my one. There was coconut on my score.
That's
That's
amazing.
unfortunate.
Yeah. The coconut was like, the actual coconut was easy to tell if my other coconut one didn't have.
Yeah, and the cream cheese one.
Oh, there's a big mini egg piece right there. If I would have had that piece, it might have been different.
I love how you guys still have.
So much donut.
So much. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Gil.
We just split 6 long johns, by the way. So that's like 1.5.
Yeah.
But when half
Which
of
is a
these
lot
are
of donut.
half icing.
Yeah.
Well, it's the icing.
Yeah.
So it's good. It was fun. It was,
Sweet. Thanks for playing, you guys. You did all right.
Thanks for having us. I did terrible. I was over 6.
It's definitely
And
coconut.
Let's move on to a more valuable challenge now.
Yeah.
This is a pretty tasty challenge. Maybe a little
Yeah.
overwhelming. Like that was a lot of sugar.
It
to
was.
be
There was a lot of
taking in.
icing on those donuts.
Jordan and Caleb are just taking a little breather. They're going to be back with us shortly and share some really valuable insights that they have. In the meantime, we're going to go through a devotional challenge. A little differently though today, right, Lauren?
Yeah, we're not necessarily going to look at a specific book, but rather why we do daily devotions.
Because we're still working through the book of 1 Corinthians, and we'll keep posting daily videos for you guys. But really, we don't do this just to fill time in our day. We do this to gain a greater perspective of the way God created the world, the way God created us, and how we as Christians should function in this world.
Yeah, I feel like, sometimes it can feel like you're just checking off another thing on the list, right? It becomes a habit, which isn't a bad thing to be in the habit of doing devotions, but more the reason behind it and why you're doing it is where it's important. Because if it is just like another thing to check off your list, you might not get as much out of it, or it might not mean the same as when you come in a posture of, wanting to learn more and encounter the Spirit.
Yeah, and it's easy for us, we can sometimes get good concepts or values from reading, but I really encourage you today, this week, to pay attention to the practical things. How can this actually make a difference in how I live my life?
Yeah.
And even just that mindset of switching to, I'm looking for something I can use today.
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to find it.
Yeah.
So that's your challenge for this week. Keep reading 1 Corinthians.
Yeah.
Look for something that you can apply today.
Yeah. I think I need a breather, Michael.
Yeah, maybe we'll go see what those guys are up to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
We have Jordan and Caleb with us here again. They are featured guests for today. Guys, just tell us, who are you?
okay. I'm Caleb. I'm one of several Calebs in the church. And I help out with youth, and I have a blast doing it, and I am redeemed in Christ.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, I'm Jordan. I have been a youth leader here for on and off for many years, and I actually came all the way up through youth and love getting to help out and see the youth grow and mature and knowing me, but it's great.
Nice.
That's so good. Okay, we have another question for you. What animal are you most afraid of?
All right, I am most afraid of. I changed it since last time. It's gonna be the badger or the wolverine, because they're just real aggressive and they're not afraid of bears, and I'm kind of afraid of a bear. So if they're not afraid, then yeah,
So you should really fear the
you should
badger.
really fear the badger,
All right.
the most deadly animal on earth.
We'll fact check that. But
Okay.
I heard that.
You heard it here first,
I,
folks.
I heard honey badgers are. Is it the most vicious or the? Yeah, something like that.
It's not a vicious
Specifically the
name
honey
though,
badger.
but
No.
honey badger is.
Honey badger. Sounds like a friend of the Winnie the Pooh, but they're not. Mine is sharks, 100%. Just because I don't like how they just show up out of nowhere, and they, take a chunk out of you. And there's nothing you can do about it. What are you gonna do? Swing in slow motion? I'm gonna punch this thing that's 16 feet long and probably has
Probably
flesh
terrifying.
like armor almost. Yeah, that's mine. And I don't like being in the water that
That's
much.
valid.
It's not that I can't swim. I can swim. I just don't like getting wet.
I feel like those are
Alright.
valid fears.
Yeah.
So fear is really our main topic for today. And in the midst of this pandemic, there's lots of reasons to be afraid. But we can kind of boil it down and just, what are your thoughts on what should we actually be afraid of?
in these moments?
Want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. So the fear is, for a lot of people, it, especially if, like, we have Christ to fall onto, and we are called to fall onto Him every moment of every day, not just when we're afraid, but it definitely, like, run to Him when you're afraid, run to Him always, run to Him especially when you're afraid, like, as in He is there for us. And if you don't have Christ, though, it dawned on me this past week, like, as I was walking through the Bear Creek trails, that some people have, like, legitimate fear for whatever reason. It could be their health, it could be they have family who are, you know, within the risk population, I'll say, like, whether they have asthma or they're elderly or whatever, fill in the blank. But in many respects, their fear is valid because it sucks losing people,
Yeah.
right? So having that a healthy respect for others' concerns, I think, is a good thing.
So even if we ourselves are not afraid of the physical effects of COVID-19, still recognizing that, you know, there are people who are afraid and who have a right to fear these things. Jordan, the Bible talks a lot about fear.
Definitely.
You want to comment on that?
Yeah, it definitely does. It says, it tells us a lot about not to fear things of this earth, because that can, say, merely hurt our body versus God, where it says, you know, but fear the one who can destroy both body and soul. So obviously that's like referring to those who aren't in Christ and destroying your soul. I mean, He's made promises to us about how when we are in Him, we have nothing to fear.
Right.
But I mean, you look through the Bible, and when we have nothing to fear, it doesn't mean that nothing will happen to our bodies. Because you look in people like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and David, they were from the human standpoint, on the winning side of God coming behind them. When they probably were scared because, you know, they got thrown into the furnace, but they came out, and David went against Goliath, and he came out. But then you have people who they put their trust and their faith and their fear in God, and then they trusted in Him. And I mean, John the Baptist still got his head cut off, and there's some apostles. Was it Peter that got crucified upside down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't always mean that it'll come out on top, earthly speaking.
Right. It
But-
doesn't mean we're absent of
It doesn't mean you're
suffering.
absent of physical harm, but that's what He says. He says, don't fear people that can just harm your body, because even though their bodies were harmed and mutilated and whatnot, their souls were, you know, they were in God's hand.
Yeah,
And
in the grand scheme.
in the grand scheme of things,
What's
the
important.
50 years versus eternity, like, they really, when you have your fear in God, you really, it's just what you compare your giants to, you know, with what's going on. You are able to, it just kind of puts everything into its proper place, like the fear, like the fears of, like, the what, when, where, whys of life, they just kind of melt away a little bit. And when you focus on who, God and Jesus Christ, everything else really just tends to fall into place in importance. And is it really worth, you know, staying up at night, sweating, staring at the roof, and like, oh man, we're going to do this, but you know that God is on your side. You just can rest easy.
So when we compare ourselves against whatever obstacle we're facing.
It may seem daunting, but then when you compare that obstacle against God, like a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Totally.
You look in the Bible, and you see all sorts of different characters and people display different versions of, like, courage and whatnot. I think when, like, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were there and they've had that, and Nebuchadnezzar was the king at the time, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
The stories.
Yeah.
built his statue for himself, and he, told everyone to bow and worship before it. They knew where their hope and their faith and was, like, who it was with, and they knew that God was like the one and only God and the only one that deserved their worship. So when everyone bowed down and they didn't, they easily could have, because that would have been a little bit nerve-wracking, but they had that fear of, God is the only God and he's the only one worth worshiping, no one else is worth our time, kind of thing. And they took that healthy reverence fear, and then they knew that, it was obviously written in the New Testament, but they said don't fear those who can only harm your body. So they were able to take their fear of God and turn it into courage against, and be courageous and not bow down and to Nebuchadnezzar, and like, if that's making sense what I'm saying.
Yeah. So their courage is coming because they had a confidence.
Yeah,
that
confidence.
God is who he says he is.
Exactly. And then they were able to just, when they have that confidence, they're able to be, courageous even when the odds seem stacked against them, because they have, their confidence is in something bigger than what their situation is.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you think about it this way, like, that story is an incredible story, because they weren't guaranteed that they weren't going to be torched,
That's true.
right?
They didn't know.
They didn't know.
Now, if you read the story and try to, like, I think a lot of times we read through stories in the Bible and we take away a little bit of the awe of it because we know the ending.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, they know it. They didn't know that.
They didn't know
They
that.
weren't into that. I'm sure they were shaking in their boots when they were about to get thrown in.
Totally. But because of their obedience and their respect and awe of God, they weren't willing to compromise the here and now of where they were. And how did God repay them? They actually got to meet Christ. Like, right? They said there was four.
Yeah.
There was 4 in the furnace.
Man.
Like, could you imagine? You have fear. Everyone has fear. It's not a matter of eliminating the fear, right? It's not letting the fear run you,
Yeah.
and going to Christ with your fear instead of dwelling on it.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any final words of wisdom or tips or just some simple thoughts even that you'd like to share with us?
Definitely spend time in scriptures, time in prayer. Pray for instead of worrying about something, pray about it.
Yeah, I heard a great thing where where I heard the pastor was like, if you waste all your energy, and it's not necessarily I'm sure with fear, you can flip it the same way, but he said with complaining, when all you do is complain, you just drain your energy on the problem. Whereas if he's like, just complain to God, because then at least you've turned it into prayer, and it can be something.
It's probably the most practical thing.
It can be, at least it can be useful, because you look at David and he whined like a baby some of the Psalms, and it was just like a straight prayer. But versus, if you're going to complain to a person, or if you're going to be fearful to another person, you also just like shout those fears to God, because then you've turned it into prayer. Because not that there's nothing wrong with sharing your fears with friends, but when you project it all on them, hoping that they will have a solution, you are literally just draining your energy when you could be sending that energy towards putting that energy into prayer.
Yeah.
So
I heard a quote the other day, and it was, "Pray the promise, not the problem." So when we're right, ooh, that got me. But
bumper sticker.
just praying God's promises. He is with us. He doesn't leave
Yeah.
us. And praying those over your fear even. This has been great, guys.
I agree.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, so good catching up with you. Look forward to the day when we can do this more regularly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this brings us to the last segment of our show. And man, I'm just always so excited after our guests. I love hearing just from other people.
Yeah, it's been a fun show today too. We had a lot of fun with Jordan and Caleb.
Yeah, and they had some really helpful things to share with us on the topic of fear.
Yeah, you know, as they were talking, I was just reminded of so many instances in scripture where they were courageous. And the Lord saw them through that, and in their faith, they didn't see the end of it. So one thing that I was thinking of was the splitting of the sea.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't see the other side of that. They didn't know there was a whole army of people coming at them. And they had nowhere to go, but, you know, they trusted God, and he split the sea and made a way for them.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really appreciate just kind of the different perspectives of fear, you know, healthy fear, unhealthy fear, and also just realizing that people around us are fearful of different things. And we can actually play a role in helping provide security and comfort to those around us. Even if we're not experiencing the same type of fears, we can still connect and love our neighbors in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Guys, as always, if you have questions, send them in.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our question time of the show, the last segment of our show.
Yeah. But it's going to look a little different today. We're going to flip it back on you guys.
So guys, keep sending questions to us, and we're going to keep working through them as best as we can.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to ask you some questions. What questions should we ask them?
Okay, so going along with this fear thing, how have you seen God working in this time of pandemic, in this time of isolation? Where have you seen him at work?
Yeah. So kind of flipping, okay, it's so easy to see the negatives. What are the positives? Share some of your stories of positives work that you have seen. Another question is, well, you started so like deep and relevant. I was gonna start a little lighter to get us going. Like,
And it's not a light note.
Okay. What animal are you most afraid of? Lauren, do the send off.
This has been Truth to You. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you guys next week.